This is a freight locomotive built in 1942, which means it's quite young really in terms of steam. It works in the West Riding of Yorkshire all its life, pulling coal trains and things, and then it was bought by a coal merchant, David Smith, quite early on in preservation, and it was restored at a yard in Wakefield and has been running on the main line ever since. I'll help look after the engine, or the engines that West Coast Railway run. I'm called the responsible officer, which means that I look after the job, manage the support crew, things like that. This engine has been booked to this season of Scarborough Spire Expresses, and right over this summer, and then into the 13th week. It's been based at the Railway Museum in York. This year the train originates in Carnforth, alternates 2 weeks. Once it goes Preston, Wakefield, second one it does Leeds. Diesel hauled over to York, and then we come on at York and bring the train to Scarborough, and then take it back to York, where we come off. A certain amount of the thing that actually makes it start and go is this, which is a regulator that lets the steam into the cylinders, well, into the valves really, which control the amount of steam that goes into the cylinders, and this is, we call it the gear, and that controls the steam, the amount of steam that's let into the cylinders at what time, so that controls the speed. One of the most important things is to keep the water level up in the boiler, and we have that's far too low and that's high, so we've got to keep it really within sight within this glass. Right. And that allows us to see where the water is. So at that point, that's what we call the crown of the firebox, so above there is steam, and sorry, that's the crown, the bottom, that's steam space and boiler space, but if it goes below there, the crown becomes exposed and that becomes very dangerous, so you can't really, we've got to keep the water in sight all the time, but preferably at the top. It's called a blower, which draws the fire when you want to get some steam up. The steam, a series of steam valves right at the front which sucks air through the fire. Fire hole door, a thing called dampers, which are down here. They let air in underneath the fire, so the fire gets two sorts of air. Primary air, which comes up through your fire, which what you can see comes under the grate, so your dampers let air into the underneath of the fire to give you a primary air, and then the secondary air which comes through the fire hole door. And we have a screen there to stop the air going straight up to the tube that pushes the cool air down onto the fire. And this is called a flap, which again controls the amount of air going in. Those are the controls for the amount of air that you let into your fire, and the amount of air that the fire gets is very important, because you've got to have air for proper combustion, and those are controls for it. This is the brake. The brake system, these are called the ejector, that sucks, because we have a vacuum brake, so actually we work for the brakes to come off, for the train to move, we create a vacuum within the brake system of the train. So these things, this is called the ejector, a small and a big one, and that sucks the air, there's a valve out there that sucks the air out of the pipe, lets the brakes off, and then this is your brake valve which lets the air back in, so you control when you're going to stop or not. So when we get to Scarborough, it's a dead end station, so we're facing in the wrong direction. So 15 odd years ago, Scarborough Council paid to install a turntable back where it was on the old Scarborough shed. It's on the site of the original turntable. So we go down there, take water, turn it and pull the coal forward and maybe clean the fire and drop the ash ready to go back. And then we've turned so we can come back in with the right way around, ready to go.
Pictures cover all the days of steam at Scarborough, including some of the old days. That's a Jack Armstrong picture, 1922. The engines were taken for the Scarborough Spar. There's the Cressley, Class 5, a B1, a Great Western engine in red as well, BR Standard 7 Britannia type. And all these work the Scarborough Spars. And these are the postcards which we have for sale at the station of the day the engine is actually working. I keep doing this. I come down regularly for these. This is a bit of my youth again.
Doing the coast to coast today. We go to Milford. I think the train goes back to Liverpool Lime Street and we go back to Scarborough. That's our day really. Been up since 1:30 this morning. Getting sorted. Scarborough. It's the old steam town. It's our West Coast Railways. And apart from that, it's a working engine all the time. Never been a museum piece. It's an ex-Barry scrapyard one though, it was scrapped in the steam days. It was a state when it came out there, and to look at it now you wouldn't believe it. I've been working on it about 3 years now. Yeah, it's a challenge but it's good fun doing it. Yeah, it's a privilege sometimes and not a lot of people get to do it.
I'm here to explain what's been going on recently today on the Railway Train Company's Coast to Coast Express, hauled by this engine, Chris Beats Jubilee 45690 Leander. Started from Liverpool this morning, just before 6 o'clock this morning. And definitely one of the highlights for me was crossing over the Runcorn Bridge, just before 6:30. And it was perfect weather, sunshine and all that. And we have had a good run all the way through Runcorn, going via Greater Manchester and then via New Mills. And now we're looking forward to the return run, which should be in just over an hour's time. Although on the return run, Leander's going to haul us as far as Milford Loop due to pathing issues on the return run. She's going to head straight home back to Carnforth and will be diesel hauled going back to Liverpool. Yeah, we certainly had a good day in Scarborough. This is only been designed the 3rd time within 5 years I've been to Scarborough behind steam. 45305 last time I went, and then just last October this engine's sister 45699 Galatea, and now this year with Leander. I tell you, it was a very good run.
Alright, that's the price.
You do that one and I'll do the driver one.
Yes, the driver one, that's more important. We haven't time for that then.
No.
Which is easy.
Any trip's a 3-day job basically, because we've got to go in on 2 days prior to the run. We've got to clean the fire, where the fire's been, we've got to clean it all out and wash out the ash pan, and then put a warming fire in it because it takes at least 24 hours to bring it up to steam. The next day we oil it up and do what you call a fitness to run exam, which means that you've got to check every running part of it to to make sure that it's going to operate safely and it's fit to run, and that has to be done the day prior to your run. So we do that on the Wednesdays, and then we're ready to go on Thursday.